I thought it would be efficient to come out at this time because I think at this time we'll be able to produce a lot more. I think at this time we'll be able to do a lot more. I think at this time we'll be able to be having a calm sound of mind in order to be able to pull off the best things that we can do with code. So I am here. I'm here and I'm here to maximize. My coughing is still not gone. I mean, I'm willing to maximize on the capabilities that we're able to hit with code. And yeah. Coffee as usual is the drink of the day. How are we all doing, ladies and gentlemen? This is Steve Nyanumba with Tech Chess. Today we're going to try and continue with the project that we left behind those few many days ago, and this was where is that project? It's not even on my most recent. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we're going to continue with this project. I was using some of this JS to be able to get a hold of the APIs. A hold of the Axios package that we are able to categorically extract from for our React Native lessons that I was actually doing earlier today. If you want to see something funny, go and watch a clueless man try and learn React Native live on stream. That's where I was. That's where generally I was. That was painful. That was really painful. But I got some things to work. I got to have the bare bones understanding of React Native, and it was really good. Did I say React JS at first? I meant React Native. React, I'm good with React. It's just pretty much HTML wrapped in JSX, which is more like Vue, but I mean, there's a lot with it that's similar to Vue. There's a lot of it that's similar to things like Flutter, for example. Today I'm going to do this without my specs because I feel like I need to stay awake, and the blue light usually effectively reduces the amount of level of sleep that I need. So let's continue. Let's progress on. So this app is going to be hosted. So I was testing APIs over here, so I'll just kill this terminal. Great. So what I effectively was doing beforehand was I was dealing with attendance. Yeah, if I can remember correctly, I was dealing with attendance, employees' attendance. So you can go and check that out real quick, and then effectively see what it is that we need to probably add. If there's nothing, then we can put this app aside and then deal with a different app. As of now, I don't want to go and progress on further with this because it's a bit heavy. It's gonna take a lot of patience and a lot of time to, debunk this, especially for the new incoming learners of Laravel. So attendances. I've not done anything on the administrator's dashboard because we've not collected enough. Like, we've not, at this point in time, we've not put enough modules for collecting data. So effectively, we wouldn't be able to collect, or rather summarize the data that's in the list. But the attendance register is effectively in works. As you can see, October 9th, I can be able to click on this and then say the sign out time is 9:45, but then he didn't sign in. This person didn't sign in. So I shouldn't be able to click on this and sign out if I didn't sign in. So that's something that I also need to effectively deal with. And then I can check out, if I can click on this also, I can sign out on those dates that are not in effect. So if this particular attendance date is not present in the DB, then it shouldn't be clickable for our master role, should I call it. So this is pretty much it. October, you can view all kinds of months. This should be September 2022. Then we have October 2022 that's coming in, should be switching right now, which is okay. Yeah, I think everything here is okay. Then we can say add attendance records. So for Tristan, you can select him. Then we say the sign-in time is at this particular time. Sign-in time is at 21:46. We save it. And okay, we can also select another different employee. Now Tristan is already out. Is already available for the day. Then if I go to the attendance register and sign that person out, this should be done diligently, otherwise it will probably fail the system, because you see it's yellow and no one signed them out. So you can say sign out time is this time, but then there's no sign out date, so there's a problem there. So this already, that's why I want to effectively just start something fresh, so that we can all go hand in hand. For those guys who are going to be watching this as a video, for those guys who are going to be watching this live today and going to be repeating it, welcome to the stream. For those guys who are there, for those guys who are not, we move regardless. Now there's a certain thing I want to do, and this is called stocks manager, where generally we deal with suppliers. We deal with issuing of items between, let's say, and this is going to be a hotel product, so it's going to be issuing of items from the stores to different departments. I'm having my dinner at the moment. So that's the bare bones explanation. That's how I usually build my apps. And I build my apps on the go nowadays, because I already have the plan in mind. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my local disk C, Laragon, www. And I'm going to come in here and create a new app. So I'm going to open this in the terminal. Right? And this is from the ground up. This is our series called From the Ground Up. We're going to start with Laravel, then we go to React or Vue or whichever. Today I want to build our application using Laravel, and then I'm going to use Jetstream's inertia. So I'm going to say Laravel new stocks application. And before we create that, I'll have to do --jet. And then we open a Laravel app. It's going to use inertia. I've not used inertia in quite some time, so I think it would be important to actually resurface that into my bones. So yeah, that's how we're going to go about every single thing. As it continues installing, I am going to go ahead and have a bite of my food. It's really good. Really healthy food. Because there's rice, there's meatballs, and there's avocado. But no one is effectively able to see me eat. Okay, we're almost ready. I can see inertia is loading. And here we're going to use a full-on MVC with Vue, which is really, really amazing. It's so powerful that you don't even imagine that that's what can happen with Laravel. The beauty about using Laravel for most of my applications is that these applications work hand in hand. I can be able to integrate two Laravel apps, and most people don't usually do that because, they first of all don't hear the possibility of that, and secondly, they like to make the application so massive to a point they don't want to use two servers. They stress all their use of this application into one server. Well, in reality, you can use two servers in one main, like one server can have two sub-servers. I call these applications sub-servers because that's pretty much how they assist. So application is ready, so I'm just going to do code stocks app. I don't have any templates that I could be able to implement here, but all in all, we just start the Laravel application, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to reload my Apache. From this point on, it's going to detect a new application which can be run from, yes, Apache is reloaded. Now it can be loaded from SSL, in fact, thanks to the capabilities of Laravel and the SSL certificate. So I'm going to open it here so that we can all be very transparent with it. Stocks app.test. I'm going to put a HTTPS at the very front. Yes, so unknown database stocks app. So I'm going to go ahead and create this database inside my MySQL inside Laravel. So I'm going to go to Heidi SQL. You can create it however you know. You can create it even using the MySQL CLI. Sorry, SLI. Yeah, I think I'm talking about graphics cards here. So I'm going to open this, and then I'm going to right click over here, create new, and then I'm going to do, actually I'm going to right click on this and then create new database, and then the name stocks app, as you may know. I'm going to use this collation, which is good, and yeah, everything works seamlessly at the moment. So even if I refresh this, we're going to get a base table of views. So now we're talking about tables, we don't talk about the database itself. So what we do in this situation is, first of all, I don't want to run this immediately right out of the gate. What I want to do is I want to go inside my migrations, go to the users table, and instead of using name, I want to use first name and last name. And then as I use first name and last name, I also want to carry out something called the role ID. So I want to come in here and create a base table, which will be a foreign ID, and it will be the role ID and it will be constrained. So it being constrained, it helps a lot because it will be able to refer to the roles table easily. But some of you may be wondering, Steve, where is the roles table in this situation? Well, I am one step ahead. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do PHP artisan make model, and I'm going to go to role -m, and I'm going to create the roles table. And this roles table has to appear before users. So some of all of you may be thinking, well, that's impossible. No, it's not. All I just need to do is click on this, do F2, and then change the date or change the timestamp that has been recorded over here. So I could as well just change it to 2014 or even 2013, and then change these to 10, 10, and then all zeros here. Or I could just save it the way it is, no harm. Yeah, just like that, because this comes before this, which is okay. Then we move on to the next situation, crafting out the rules table. What the rules table entails for us to do is just put a title, which is a string. So that's it, and that's all. Now inside the rules, I'm going to do a few things over here inside the rules table. So I could either use I could use the rules to craft out a many-to-many relationship between the rules and the users, or I could do a one-to-many where the user has one role but the roles have many users. In that situation, then I would be already very okay in terms of keeping the role ID on the users table. But in the former situation, I will have to remove this role ID and then create a pivot table between the roles and the users, which also is quite simple to do, but I prefer doing it this way because I like it when one user has one role. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some roles that cannot be edited within the system, and to do that I'm going to come in here and do db table. So I'm going to come in and import the class db, which is like that, and then table like that, and then I'm going to call users, and then I'll insert so what I will insert is a title for the super administrators first. So super administrator, and then I am going to do the same for the normal administrator, and then the next one is for employees. Maybe let's just do employees for now, because but then it's only going to be for a procurement officer to use this particular items or this particular table, so I'm not going to go deep into every single thing about like the employees details and stuff like that. So I think it would be better if I did admin and no admin, something like that. Yeah, so I'll just do administrator, super administrator, administrator, and then non-admin. Maybe that would work. So I'll say non-administrative. All right, so that's done. I think that's it. All right, so we work effectively on and on. I'm going to say this is constrained, and then also it has a default value. So the default value in this situation will be 3, because that's the third one, non-administrative. I'll want anybody to be able to log into this system, like just create an account and log in. But in a situation where the administrator creates users, I doubt that that functionality I will enable. So I will disable registration eventually, which is very easily done in this system. But all in all, that's how we go about this. Then in terms of administration, in terms of registration, of course, we had different situations for that registration to occur. But I'm not going to be dealing with that, because I'm going to disable registration. It's supposed to be in the actions, Fortify, and then there's this part for create new user. Create new user is where registration happens. Where it's going to take in a name, and instead of taking a name, I'm planning to put in a first name and a last name. So that's the difference. So I'll change that. I would change that here. And then I'd also change this, I think inside the update user, yes. So in the creation and in the update, I would change that. No, it's this one now. The creation and the update. So I will also change that here. I'll add first name and last name and remove this. And then change that also over here. Add first name and last name and remove this. So those two places, I think over here for the update is where I would actually change it. So I'll do first name, like so, which is required. Then I'll duplicate that line and then go and do last name, like so. And then for here, we will do first name, which is input first name. So I'll come in here, do that, duplicate it, and then do last, like so. Then we move on forward. So for updating the stuff, that will be different from creating, because we won't use the creating. So I'll save that as it is. And one important thing now, as we've gotten to where we are, I'm going to do this. I'm going to initiate a Git repository on this project. So I'm just going to do git init, and then git add all. Then I'm going to do git commit -m, and I always say the first commit. I don't know how to write commits because I've never worked in a team, so please allow me to be confident with my commit messages. So now that Git is installed into this machine, whatever changes that we make from here on out we will move along with it, and then we'll be able to also revert to the previous state so that we don't lose progress. If we make progress, we save it and then we move on forward, which is very, very important when it comes to code. Okay, so we still have this problem here. The reason why we still have this problem is because we've not migrated our tables to the database. So I'm just going to do PA migrate. So it's going to say base table not view or view not found. Stocks app users doesn't exist. Insert into users title value super administrator, administrator, non-administrative. So what happens in this situation? Oh, I think I made an error of judgment. This should have been roles, not users. Like so. So I'm going to just run it again. So you can see base table of view already exists. So we're going to run the same command, but then we're doing a colon fresh so that it drops whatever it had and then runs the migrations again. So now we are ready and set to be able to see our Laravel application. We have login and register. In order for us to disable this registration, like I said, it's a very simple thing. All you just need to do is go to config, and then we go to Jetstream, and then we scroll down all the way down, and then no, this one is for features. Okay, never mind. It's not in Jetstream, but I think it's in Fortify for the authentication. Go all the way down, and then you'll find our features staring us in the face. Reset passwords, update profile information. God damn. Okay, update passwords, two-factor authentication, and registration. All we need to do in this situation is registration. Click on that, save it, and now we refresh. So now we don't have the register function that was here before, and to log in we have to log in, of course, but we do not have details for that particular user. So what we're going to do in that situation is we're going to come into our DB, go to migrations, go to create users, and we're going to create our first super admin. And in this situation, I'd like to consult with the .env, and in the .env, I would like to actually come and say underneath DB password, I'm going to come and use default password. Yeah, default password, and equals to, I like to also use quotes here from 1 till 0, and that will be our default DB password. I like to also come in here and duplicate this and put it underneath here in our .env.example, because this is what goes into the repository, but this .env does not. So we'll use this to copy a new .env file whenever it is that we're cloning this repository elsewhere. So yeah, that's how we go about these things. And in order for us to create that new DB user, I'm going to come in here and say DB, and then we'll use table. The table is the users table, and then we're going to insert. So the insert values are as follows. First thing is the first name. The first name is my name, super, and then the last name is administrator, of which I will change it here. Right. So it's all separated by commas, so no need to tense up on what it is that you're supposed to use. Then we have the email, and it's going to be admin@stocksapp.com. And then we'll come into the password. Now the password is not as tricky as most people think, because they don't know which hash function is used by Laravel. The hash function is going to be inside this hash class, and then I'm going to say make, all right, and then the value is going to be the env default password, right? There we go. And then we save that and we move on forward to the next agenda, which is Well, of course we've already saved this user, so everything is a-okay. We don't need to put this semicolon there, and we save this and we migrate fresh again. So you can see over here the role ID doesn't have a default value. It should be having a default value. It should be. This number 3 should be its default value. That should be better. Let's try it again. Right, so I did want this default value to kick in for this particular user, right? Because I mean, if I log in, I am not an admin, right? Let's try it. So I'll say admin at stocksapp.com. Oh, but we first have to refresh this. So admin at stocksapp.com. And then the password is 100. As always, we will succeed on login, logout, and registration, which is, I mean, very seamless. So at this point, I can even like click on this and be able to also get something, but there's something that's missing over here. You can see this point over here, it was relying on a name to come through for this particular user. So what we can do is, in order for us to get back name into that position, we have to go back to our models. We don't even have to go to our views and change anything. We just need to go to our models, and our models will be found in app, models, role, and user are the models that we have. What we need to do in this situation is we just click on user, and then we do an appends. So there's an appends over here for the profile photo URL. There should be another appends over here for the name, right? And in order for us to get this name, because even if we save it, we won't be able to get it back over here. You see, get name attribute. So this function is what is going to be called in order for us to get our name written back there. So what we need to do in this situation is create a function. We create a function. I call it get name attribute. Given that get and attribute are like the prefix and the suffixes for each and every single function that's supposed to be appended into the appends public or the protected appends variable. So there's nothing we're passing in here, and then all we're returning is a combination of the name that is being carried by the user in question and the first name and the last name, so a combination of both the names. So this particular model has a value called first name, and we're going to concatenate it with a space, and then we add this which is here, this last name, and we save that, and then we move. So now once we refresh this, very simple, and then we have super administrator popping up at the very top. Now we have this part for the profile where we have to really change this from name to first name and last name. So what we need to do is, now this is where we change some things in the views. We have to go to the resources, we have to go to views, JS, then we go to layouts, app layout. App layout has a few things here. And pages also has a few things here. This is profile, and then we go to partials, and then we go to update profile information form view. We haven't installed the required view extensions yet, but I'm sure by using text I'll be able to do something about this. So I'm going to hit install so that it gets Vola. Vola has language support for Vue 3, which is the current default language for this. And it's already installed now, so now everything is syntax highlighted. So now what we're going to do is now add, or rather, first of all, I'm going to do npm run dev. Oops, wrong Okay, so we're good. So you see, this enables us to be able to refresh this. So now we have something in our console that says that we have Vite connected. Either it's connected or it's unable to connect, something of the sort. Now we come back here into a section called the update of the forms, and there's a part for the input for a file, which is inclusive whenever we have the profile photos being enabled. Now, aside from all that, you can also come in here into the input for name. All right, and we're going to duplicate this. So we're going to first of all say this is for the first name, and then we're going to call this first name. Then value is first space name. Then text input, we have ID first name. It should be, and then v model is form dot first name. We're going to change that down there in the data later on. Then autocomplete first name, or first name, yeah, something like that. And then input error will be form errors first name, like so. Okay, I think that's good. Then we're going to duplicate this all like so, and then we're going to Control F, and we're going to come in here and do Control D, and then Control F. Sorry, so let me just hit this again. Control D, Control F, and then we're going to find, well, this should have actually been the subject of the matter. So I'm going to find first name, right, and then replace it with last underscore name. Or rather, I'm going to use first and replace it with last. That's how I want it to be done, because there's this part over here for the first name. So I'm going to come in here and enable the preservation of the case. Now I'm going to replace the first one. The first one should be this one over here. So I'm actually going to replace this one as the first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and we're done. Now, once that is done, I'm going to save, and I am going to refresh this. So you can see first name, last name, email, right? But there's nothing showing for the first name and last name in terms of data. The reason why that is because at the very top we have data being passed through using a particular object. Okay, so there's this part over here called use form. Then there's the method put. There's the name, which is props user name. Then there's email, props user email. So I'm going to come in here and say that this two are going to be first underscore name, and then duplicate the line, and then I am going to take it back to last name. Save that, and we have ourselves a winning team right there. So if I want to change the first name, I'll change it. Change the last name, I'll change it. Email, I'll change it. Current password, I'll type it in, definitely. I've not saved it, have I? Nah, I've saved it actually. So I can put in the current password, I put in a new password, and then I confirm the new password, and then I save. It will save. There's two-factor authentication, of which will allow me to be able to use my phone for two-factor authentication, and then it will have recovery codes afterwards. So if I cancel on two-factor authentication, then I am good. I can just log in with the username and a password, and that's it. All right, next thing we can talk about now is, well, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the entire starter pack. Bernard Chisumo, welcome to the stream, my G. Welcome, and thank you for joining us. Just seeing your chat right now. Thank you for joining the stream. We are doing Laravel. I hope you are willing to learn and willing to see everything that we're going to do. All this. So there's a question. You're asking, how do you disable the error handling response on the console? Error handling response. Disable it. Well, pretty much have to switch off debugging, I think. From what I've done, really, from the previous times that I've handled this, all I really need to do to switch off most of the features, if not all of them, I'm sure not all of them can go away. Over here, the app debug, I could put this as false or eradicate it all the same. If I put it as false and refresh, then you can see some of the main errors that were supposed to be there from the very top have disappeared. But then you see WebSocket connection will always fail. This one is for development purposes. We're still in the development stage. So Vite will always fail to like connect, and if it fails to connect, then we are not on good terms with Vite. So yeah, if you want to disable error handling responses, then yeah, I think the debug function is the one that really disables most of them. I'll give an example also. If we had that bit of let's drop everything from the database, right? Let's drop everything from the database. Pa db flush. Oh no, not flush, but wipe. So let's do a wipe. So we drop all the tables, right? There's going to be an error thrown whenever I'm here, right? Base table or view not found, and there's always going to be this internal server error, regardless. But it's limited in terms of messaging. But now, once we come and turn this to false, this won't show. It will just show the server error. Right. Although not most, I'll say console log errors really are persistent. So I'm not really keen on getting rid of them. Like let's say for example, if I go into, I don't know, let's just use Footbin for example. I'm a FIFA player, so let me just do that. Footbin.com. If I come into Footbin, there'll always be issues coming in. Like I say, handling response, and then it will give where the errors are coming in from, as it's a big application and all that. You can see this is the API link. If I was malicious, I could have even been that person to just decide to use it, but nope, let it just stay. But yeah, I mean, apps like those, almost all apps, the console log errors will always be there, especially if they have been labeled for development and not for production. So let's revert that. Let's do PA migrate. Should it be migrate? Yeah. All right. So we're good to go. I think we can just go back and log in. So I usually like to split up my application. There are those who are administrators and there are those who are not. I've just joined today. What are you building? So today we're building a stocks application. We're building it from the ground up. This is day one of it, and I plan on doing it for in a 7-day process. So yeah, it's going to be a 7-day process. It's going to be here live on stream. Each and every single piece of the code is going to be live on stream. So it's going to be one that's going to be issued within hotels in such a manner that if we have suppliers, for example, we know exactly what we've gotten from these particular suppliers and at what rate and at what cost, and then they'll be taken and be put in the store. We'll be able to now issue these items from the store to various departments of the organization. So let's say, for example, if we've bought linen, we're going to issue that to housekeeping. If we've bought food, we're going to issue that to the kitchen to be prepared. If we bought, like, say, soap that's going to be used for dishes, we're going to give it to the steward staff and stuff like that. So that's pretty much what's going to be happening with this application, and it's pretty much a push and pull application. There's nothing majorly complex about it, but yeah, that's what we intend. That's what I intend to build using this application right here. So going straight in, I want to like really deal with stocks first. I want to deal with products and their categories and all those things as the first thing. So what I will be doing is, first things first, I will do, I'll be making a lot of models. So the first model will be the units. Units as in the kind of stuff that will be used to categorize in terms of kilos and the units for measurement. That is kilos, liters. It will be weight or, you know, liters, capacity. Either weight or either weight or capacity. Let me not get that confused. So PA make model, and then we have the unit. So by convention, I am going to call this unit, like of course by singular, then a -m. And then inside our models, of course, there's the unit, there's the database here that has the units table. Inside the units table, I'm going to have the string of what? Unit, or we'll just call it title, right? Call it title, and then there's an abbreviation. Just give me a second. So there's not going to be any special items here because I'm not going to implement soft delete. So I'm going to just finish this table and then we take a break. So db table. So I'm going to import db, which is that class there. Then I'm going to say table, and I'm going to call this the units table. And I'm going to insert directly into the table. Insert directly into the table the units of measurement that we're going to be using. So it's either weight or capacity, right? Do I design an ARD before coding? Depends on the application. Sometimes I have the ARD in my mind and I just declare that I'm going to like create this application, and then boom, the application formulates itself. When the application is extremely big, then I really like when the application is extremely big, I tackle it in 3 sections. First, modeling the database using the ARDs, then designing the screens using Figma, which I have down here somewhere. Wait, where's Figma? Which I use using Figma, and then I unite them with basic planning of routes and how I'm going to name them and labeling them. So it depends on the application. So ARDs, I'll say they're very vital, but they're not a must. So the first unit over here, we're going to call this the title. The title is going to be kilogram. And then the abbreviation is going to be kg in small. So I'm going to take all this, copy it here. I'm going to put a comma to separate them. Next one I'm going to do is liter. Liter is spelled like that, and then it's it should be LTR or L. I think it will be L. I could do milliliter, and this one could be gram. I think this should be gram. Are you able to share the link to download Figma? I believe so. Figma is just free for all, really. Just type Figma online and you'll be able to go here, Figma. And it's free. It's actually very free. So you can use Figma on the browser. You can also use it. You see over here, you just click on this and then say get desktop app. And once you get it, you'll be able to just download it. Simple as. So yeah, so this is the link you'll click on. Maybe okay, it's not giving me that opportunity to copy it, but yeah, that's how you go about it. All right, so just give me a second. Let's just migrate this first. As you can see, table units inserted. I'll use gram and no, I'll use kilogram and liter, which is quite fine. It's like in between. So I'll use that and keep it like that. And then the rest, I think I will be able to like draft it using the oh, why am I inserting directly direct the units via migration instead of a CEDA or UI? Because these are going to be fixed within the system, and I don't want to use constants, because if in any case I'd want to change anything, I'll just have to update the database. So I want to insert directly so that, and I wouldn't have to change this really. I don't want to change kilos and liters. I don't have to change the user, the super admin. The only thing I'll be doing is updating the super admin, which is why I inserted roles. These are roles that are fixed within the system. So there's super administrator, administrator, and non-administrative. So these are like the definitions of the system, and I don't want them to change. The app will function like this through and through. Then this is the first user, of course. I don't want to use, of course, seeders, you know, they're temporary, because if you migrate this into a production site, seeding will not be in effect, because, well, seeder classes, especially faker, is only available for production, for development level, not production. So that's why I refrain from using seeders. Seeders will only come in handy when dealing with dummy data, and that's my logic towards dealing with this. So allow me to take a break for now. Let me just migrate this units table, and then I take a break for a few. I will be back in shortly, maybe in the next 15 minutes. But I hope I hope it made sense to you. I hope that that piece of information made sense. All right, we'll be back. My sincerest apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I had a lot of issues to deal with, but regardless, I'm back. Sorry for that. That how long was that? How long was that? I apologize. I said 15 minutes. It ended up being 30. Jeez. God damn. What? Why do we? I don't know. Life is just life. I don't know how to go about this. Well, all in all, we're back. We're back live. So, what we were dealing with at this point in time. Let's actually run this. I said that we were going to be hard coding like this particular administrative user into the system, as well as the units and as well as the roles. So that's the only thing that we're going to be hard coding into the system, and then this super administrator has the rights to do each and every single thing. So the units are used for units of measurement. I see there are a few people that have come in. I've seen some chats that you guys have left me. Let's actually take some time to welcome guys. Let me start from the bottom up. So Bernard, I think I already welcomed you in. Thank you for the chats. Yes, I'd gone to buy cake. Or is it cake or coke? Coke. Jesus. You guys, man. Code Fisher. Welcome to the stream, brother. Aviwe Musa. Welcome to the stream, man. Let me take your suggestions, man. I can see why you're inserting direct to the units. I think I answered that earlier. Laravel plus Flutter and e-commerce would be nice. Yeah, exceptional idea. Let me write that down. That would be exceptional. If we're able to pull that off, that is. I know nowadays e-commerce projects are really not ideal as such. No one is going to go to an e-commerce site and buy stuff. They'd rather get the personal convocation from sellers. But yeah, I guess depending on the traction, of course. No sound? You still can't hear me? I am sure I increased the sound. None whatsoever. Really? No, bro, you're pulling my leg. You're pulling my leg. Yeah, you're pulling my leg. I knew it. Yeah. Oh, goddamn. The stream is so high quality nowadays. Anyway, yeah, so Prof, the E sound. Just increase the volume. Or, I don't know, maybe you muted me or something. I don't know. Is anyone else having a problem with sound? Anybody else having a problem with sound? On my end, everything is good. Bernard, come on. There's sound. There is. Is this one of those where, someone continues spamming no sound? I hope. I don't know. I really hope not. Anyone else in the stream, man? Just tell me if you can hear me whatsoever. I hope that's not the issue. It's ultra low latency. This is really good. Anybody else? Tell me if the sound is good, guys, because everything is sounding okay from my end. Let me take my phone and check it as well. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Okay, it's gonna continue in a loop. Ah, excellent. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so yeah, everything is sorted. I was just ensuring that you were good, man, because I can't continue. You know, as much as most people will not care about the 1%. I mean, I don't want to leave any stone unturned in terms of the outreach. Anyway, a role has many users. Let's just begin there. Because I just opened the role model over here, so role model. Users. Oh, that's the wrong one. It should be users. And it's not taking in anything. I want to return this. Can you say has many? Yeah, has many users. We'll look into how the actually this already fits it, and then user belongs to role. I'll say, I think user belongs to role works well. So function, then we'll say role. And then we'll say return this. Belongs to role. That's it. Okay, so now we have units and we're going to link them up to products. Let's deal with that immediately. So one thing about products is, just like I was about to implement in the previous one. So before I continue, I think I should take all of your questions all at once. So there's an error that you had posted earlier. How do you turn off runtime core .esm bundler.js if you want to not use built-in or resolved HTML elements as a component ID header? There's a convention that you probably skipped inside the code. Maybe give me context of how this error came about, because it's a matter of convention. Once you go to production, if there's an error that comes about through, if there's a bug that comes about through this, it's because you didn't follow a certain convention. So that's why Vue gives a warning in how to, like, you know, use the Vue HTML and stuff like that. Do not use built-in or resolved HTML elements as component ID, like header, for example. So like, let's say, for example, if you create a component and you call the component, if you create a component in Vue and call the component header, it's going to destroy so many different things, or it's going to, like, mess up a lot of your code, because I mean, there is a HTML element called header, So if you did that, then problem. So that's the convention. Don't create components and give them names inside the code using names that have been reserved for HTML elements. I don't know if that makes sense, or if it's clear. Should be. Great. Okay. So we have when it comes to products, products are categorized using the what is something I have here that I use as data for the kind of work that I usually do. So there's dry goods, there's water, bottled water, gas supplies, things like that. So those are categories. So product always has categories. These categories already have subcategories, but products can run yeah. Great. I'm glad to be of help. Glad to be of help, bruv. So categories, subcategories. I'm just writing them down real quick so that I don't lose my chain of thought. So then there's the product details, of course, that is the product itself. And then we have product quantities, which comes after the product. All right, so I mean, now we move faster. So we're going to create a model called product category -m it's make model, sorry, make model. I usually cancel this so that it's not doing much else than indexing. So even when you cancel it, it will index in the background. And then there's product subcategory. Then we have the product itself. And then we have the product quantity. But this is just on base level, really, because you might find that you want to have a unique piece of item, like say bread, for example, and then you issue it with like they all have like their own expiry dates and all that stuff. But for over here, I think that process of LIFO should be manual. I think if it wasn't manual, then I think at this point we'll be having like say a supermarket or something like that. But this is for like just issuing and being able to recount and recheck. But you know what? That's not an actually bad. This is not a bad idea. Why don't you use parent ID? Parent ID? I do. I actually do. Like what? Like inside the users table, the role ID belongs to the roles table, which now has an ID, something like that. Units will have, of course, the units table, and then when we come to the quantities area, we're going to have it describe, the quantities. Although I think in terms of quantities, let me just move this to the recycle bin, and also the products table as well. I'll just delete this and then deal with the products differently. Let me just deal with this different. Let's change it up a bit. This is going to be exciting. So I have a product description, a full-on product description, and then there's the product itself that comes in. So when the product comes in, it will have like a particular predefined description, and yeah, so that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to create one over here called product description, right? And these product descriptions will also entail, like, say, the fixed quantity that this product is also like having, and then when the product comes in, we're going to issue it like, say, a UUID or something like that. So we're going to make a product description, and then we're going to make the products themselves. So the products themselves will stand alone, and they will have their own unique expiry dates and all that. Okay, they're not unique, but the expiry dates, the purchase times, and etc etc. So they'll have their own UUIDs, and if we want to, like, if they all have the same, they've all been bought at the same time, they've all been like they all have the same expiry dates, the same purchase times, they're all going to be accounted for. So it will put an entry into the products table, like, say, twice. So they'll all follow this this kind of format. So when you come to the product categories table, this one will be the simplest one of them. So we'll have the table string title. That's it. Now this one is where we're going to have things like the created by, updated by, and the soft deletes. So I'm going to use table, then I'm going to use unsigned big integer, and I'm going to use created. Can't type today, it seems like I'm losing my accuracy. Created by, and then, so if it's unsigned, it's obviously going to be a positive number. I'm going to, I don't want to keep this nullable. Should I keep it nullable? Okay, I should keep it nullable. And then I should come here and then say foreign, and then I'll say created by. So we're declaring that this is a foreign key, of course, created by, and then it says we're going to reference ID, the ID on users, because it's obviously a user who created this. So user, and then if I don't think I'm going to take an on delete action, so on delete, or actually set null on delete because it's nullable. So set null, or rather on null on delete, yes, null on delete. There we go. I was trying to remember that function. And then we're going to copy this and use it for updated by. Which is also nullable. Then we're going to use soft deletes. Which is fancy indeed. So once we enable soft deletes on product categories, we're going to come back to product categories and say use soft deletes. Soft deletes really describes a particular like, say, entry inside a database with inability to be deleted, but rather when it's being deleted in real time, there'll be a deleted at column that indicates a date, and if that column is not empty, then that product is marked as deleted, but it can be recovered, of course, so there's that. So there's that product for the product category. I'll use the soft deletes item on the subcategory as well. So that's the next one that we're using. So use soft deletes, and I am going to copy all this because it's just a repetition for those columns that I'm going to be adding this. So we're going to go to product subcategories, right? And we're going to come in here and add, first of all, the columns that I said we're going to add. Then after that, we're going to have a foreign key, so table foreign ID. So the foreign ID is going to be called product category ID. So product category ID, like so. And then it's constrained, right? So constrained, or constrained, sorry, I keep on forgetting it's called constrained. Then table title, and it's going to be wrapped inside a string. So string title. Then we move on to, I think we should add a description, really, or not. Either or could have worked either way, but let's see what we can do with the end product of this. So this table is done. Then we move on to the descriptions table, of which over here, just as usual, the created by, updated by, and there's references table. So the description is going to be in wait, first of all, there's going to be a title. So I'll do string title, and then there'll be a description for that particular item. So table, I'll do long text because I don't want to limit this, and then I'll say description. I could do product descriptions and product titles. I think that will normalize it further. I could do product titles, then product descriptions. Because, like, let's say, for example, if we have something like what, Nutella, there's the small one, which now is described as like now the small one, then there's a big one, but then all of them are Nutella. You know, I think that's ideal. I think that would be ideal. So PA make model. I'm trying to go in on this as far as possible. So product, but then all the same, those descriptions can't belong to any other, which is fine, I guess, because the product titles will have many other descriptions underneath it. Product, so titles. Yeah, I think that's ideal. Yeah, so product title -m, and then I'm going to customize this. So I'm going to come in and rename it, and this one I'm going to put it before the product description, so it's going to be 201 900, like so. Create product titles table, right? So over here, product descriptions. Over here will be foreign ID, and then we'll say title ID, product title ID. And it's going to be obviously constrained. Talk about building for robust systems, right? Then long text, of course, the description itself. And this one is going to be unique. Should it be? No, I think it's going to be like this. It's going to be a unique, so I'm going to declare a unique index. So the columns are as follows. There is a product title ID and the description. And that's it. So description is not nullable, the product title ID is not nullable, but these others are nullable, and I need to set soft deletes. So I need to come back here to the subcategories. I've not set I've set soft deletes. So then the product categories, the product descriptions, I need to declare use soft deletes. Then when I come to product titles, I want to declare the same, use soft deletes. And then after that, I go to the product titles page. I will come in here and first of all paste the ones that are required, and then I will start by saying table. So it can have a product ID, it can or cannot have a product sub category. It will have a product category, but it may or may not have a product subcategory. So I think both of them will be noted down inside the titles, and that will be fine. So coming down to that, there will be product category ID. So there will be foreign ID, product category, in case of a situation where, but I think the product categories will be heavily will be heavily bulked up. We'll be having like 4 categories. In each category will have like maybe 7 subcategories. So I'll just do product subcategory ID. Category ID, and it's constrained as well. That's fine. And then from there we have the table. Now we look at the title, of course, string title, and that's it. And that's done. I believe that's done. I won't make these too unique, because there'll probably be a situation where maybe even brands is a thing. Shit, brands. Look at my mind is expanding. Jesus. Okay, brands. So I'll duplicate this, and then I'll say brand ID and add a and then add brand -m right there. So there'll be a brands table. In this brands table, I'm going to just rename it into 201 800. 201 800. Did I miss a call? I must have missed a call somewhere. I did not. Goodness. Great. No, it's holding me back from this. I'm just thinking loudly upon. Okay. Jeez. Let's refresh this again. 201 800. Yeah. Let's do 825 even. So brands will just have a title, right? String title, and then we paste all those other items, which are these ones, and then you go to the brand model and use soft deletes, and that's it. So a product description cannot exist without a product title. So if I come in here and use the product descriptions ID as a foreign ID for the product, then I will be sorted. Then I just need to take down more details about the product that's being dealt with. So in the situation, I will come in here and say table. Now we have what product? Sorry. Foreign ID, and then we put in the product underscore description underscore ID, like that. We move on to the next bit. That will be the details of this particular product. I think having a custom UUID would be beneficial. Having also a barcode will be kind of beneficial, I guess. Maybe I'll say string. How are barcodes stored in a DB? Let's actually just look at this. How are barcodes stored in a DB? Not QR codes, but barcodes. To save a barcode image to the database, it's necessary to create a var binary data type column in the database table. The image must be saved as a memory stream and then converted to image bytes that are stored in the database column of the var binary type, as demonstrated in the code example below. Look at this. It could be JPEG, and then it's encoded back into like numbers and stuff. I think I'll use string. I think I'll just use a string, because this is in what, .NET? I think this is coded in .NET. Looks a lot like .NET or Java or C#. Yeah, this is C# and .NET. Yeah, could be. .NET. All right. Other people could tell me otherwise. Let's look at QR codes actually. There's just a bunch of text displayed in a way that a computer can easily read it via camera. So don't store the QR code in the database. Store the text that the QR code represents. What you're suggesting is like storing a photo of someone's date of birth instead of the actual. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm just going to use string for now. Barcode, which is unique. And that's it. What else are we missing here? Can someone like pretty much bring this up? Expiry dates, maybe. I don't know. Like for example, I don't know, my coffee gold has a lot of details here. You see, this barcode has numbers attached to it. If I read this barcode, let me just read this barcode right now. You don't have a barcode scanner installed? QR and barcode scanner. Yeah, it's just numbers. Unsigned integer or something, unsigned big integer or something like that. But I'll use string, just because I know I can convert the string to like numerals and characters. Sorry, I muted. Guess I'm gonna have to take another break. Give me a second, people. A lot of family stuff needs sorting out, but we'll be back. All right, we're back. Jeez. I know I'll be cold again. That's a different story, man. Today is not the best of days to do a live stream, but here I am. Right. So where are we going with this? Let's just finish the DB and then we'll craft out everything else later on. So this is the barcode. Then after that, after what else? What other details do we have? left before the barcode is again. So I'm gonna put this there, created by, updated by. We're gonna move further and actually look at the product table over here. Use soft delete, and all of these items are all like related and stuff. So it's good. So this one you can close. You can close this. You can close this. You can close. Actually, all of the ones that have been saved, close them. Then we continue with this one. So the product description, we have the barcode, and then we have we don't have quantity because all these products are going to be unique. So in terms of product description, you see these product descriptions represent unique products themselves. So a product description can be like this one product, and then like this one has its own unique barcode, but now we can tell from the product descriptions the number of products that are there will give us like the number of products that we have in total. So the product description is like the pivot of all these different items really. And then the products table like pretty much defines the product itself, so that now like when it leaves the store, you can scan it to the barcode and say, okay, this particular product left the store, now we have this amount of product in the DB, or rather this amount of product in the store via the DB. So that's that, I guess. Is there anything else that I may be missing? Could be the unit weight, but that will be in descriptions also. So descriptions table will also have the unit ID. So this will be table unit ID. So this will be foreign ID. Then we'll have the unit underscore ID. Foreign ID, unit ID, and then we'll have also the quantity in perspective of the unit ID that's in question. And then we'll say foreign, no, not foreign, sorry, but this will be an unsigned integer, an unsigned big integer. And then we'll use quantity of that one product. Like say for example, if this is going to be measured in kilograms, 50 grams is how much in kilograms? 0.05 or roughly 0.5 maybe. 0.05. Let's go with that. So 0.05 kilograms is this McCoffee. So it will just be mode of translation. If it's less than one, then divide. If it's less than one, divide by like say 1,000 to get it in grams. Or sorry, multiplied by 1,000 to get it in grams. And that's how we go about this. Yeah, I think that's it. That's good. So I think this is it. I think that's all. I think the barcode just pretty much defines the product itself. So that's good. I think that's everything. I think that gives us room to like play around with each and every single thing that comes in from that. Yeah, I think that's good. So brands are not tied to really anything. The brands just come in from out of nowhere, just like the units table and all. And that's it. That's the whole DB. I mean, who could have created? Is there really? If you guys believe that there's something better we could have done with this, just just comment down. We're all learning here. We're all trying to improve. We're all trying to be better. But if you think there's anything else different that we could have done with this, then so be it. And I will be willing to listen. So git add all. So I'm going to add this in git. Completed. First draft. Of the database. Right. So I think that's it. I think that's good. So if there are any questions, I'll be willing to answer as well. So don't be shy. Don't shy away from the chat. Don't shy away from liking this. And yeah, and if you are new here, welcome. I see Bernard Chisumo. I see Code Fisher. I see Aviwe Musa. I'm pretty sure you're new to the streams. I've not seen your names here before. I'm used to a certain guy called Saleh. I'm used to some certain Kenyan guys here, like Ian Cecil, Edna, and the rest. So yeah, thank you for joining in. Thank you for thank you for the support. It's not over yet though. We're still pulling up a lot of things, and the theming of Vue.js is not yet going to be done today. I think what we're going to be doing is now to do with the controllers and the DB and all that stuff, and the routing and the categorizing of stuff, so that we can be able to, we can be able to make this application more streamlined. If we can sort it out on the back end, the front end doesn't matter how it looks, as long as it works very well. So yeah, that's what I believe personally. So yeah, cool. So let's move on further. Let's create some middleware. I didn't even think about this. Let's create some middleware. So the first middleware I want to make is the administrator's middleware. Middleware administrator. Alright, so before we go on with the administrator's middleware, there's something I want to do inside the user's model that will enhance the middlewares to work. So there's this part over here inside the appends. I'm going to call this isAdmin. Now, in any time that I do this isAdmin, it will mean that this user is either an administrator or is not an administrator. If this is false, then the next variable that is sorted then will definitely be false. So this is admin and this is super. Super being super admin, and then admin being both super and the normal admin. Now let's look at this inside the browser. Where's the browser? Must have closed it. So you can see this already. It's throwing an error, get isAdmin attributes. So that's because inside the user's model we need the isAdmin attribute, we need the isSuper attribute. So we need to add onto this public function get name attributes. We'll do the same. So get isAdmin, so this is a function. We'll call get isAdmin attribute, and then from there we move on to say return this, then role ID is equal to 1, or this role ID is equal to 2, right? Because if it's 1, then it's the admin. If it's 2, it's the if it's 1, it's the super admin. If it's 2, it's just the admin. Then to get function get is super attribute, and this one will just return this role ID being equal to 1. So this double equals is like a comparative feature. It's like what we use in the if statements. If I left it like this, role ID is equal to 1. This, I mean, we're declaring that role ID is equal to 1. But if we do this, the double equals, it will be a comparative, and it will always return a boolean. So if it's true, then it returns true. If it's false, then it returns false. Same for this kind of situation right here. So these are the only ones that will enable me to like verify whether we have an admin or not. So that will enable us to segregate the application for administrators and non-administrators. And what that non-administrators will do will, like, it will depend really on what characteristics they'll be given or what permissions they'll be given, which permissions we'll probably deal with later on. So we've made the middleware administrator. Over here, what will happen here, this return next request is a function that will happen if, you know, the user, if whatever it is that the request has been fulfilled, if the conditions have been met, then you just return next request. So let's say, for example, I want this to be only an administrator to be able to be authenticated by this administrator's middleware. So I'll say if, or rather, I'll say, well, there's many ways you can go about this. I'll say if, and then I'll use an if statement over here. So say auth user, and then I'll say is admin. So I can see this is admin attributes has already picked up from where we left over here, the is admin attributes. So the is admin appends and all that stuff. So if this authenticated user is the admin, then return the next request. Else, just abort. So what I'm going to abort is a command with the 400s because it's a bad request. And the 400s that I'm going to return is a 403, which is a forbidden request. And I'm going to go ahead and say you are not an administrator. Great. So this function is done all on its own. There's many other ways you could go about dealing with this. You could say return. The simplest way I would think about it is return, or rather I'll take this entire function, right? I'll uncomment these and I'll remove the else statement and remove this last bracket, and that will be done really. Like if this returns true, then of course if we do the return, the abort wouldn't even be reached. So if this doesn't go through, then the abort will be reached, and then, you know, we'll know that this person is not an admin. Another way to go about it would be I'll say auth user, and then I'll say is admin, and I'll ask it like a question. So the question either has a truth statement or a false statement between the two. Inside the truth statement, I want to return the next request. So I'll just have to paste this return next request. If it's false, then we'll abort, and the abort will be just like this one. So now there's a problem already with this particular way of doing things, because return is supposed to come before the question is asked. So I could take this out and then I'll say return like this. So this is another way to sort it out. I could have done it with one line. So yeah. So that's it. I guess we're good to go from that point onwards. So that's for the administrator. How about the super administrator? So I'll do the make middleware super administrator. Then we'll take this same thing over here, right? And then we'll come in here, paste it in place of this. User is super. We'll change this to is super. And then we'll change this to you're not a super administrator. So over here, I think I'll just do a capital A. So just to make it very well detailed. So once these are done, I can go ahead and go to the kernel and register these middleware like so. So I could come in here and copy the same thing over here, and I'll say admin, and then I'll say Jama ongoing. Guys, I will be back in a few. But first the middleware, this will be administrator, like so, class, and then we'll have the super, of which we have the super administrator class, and that's it. So guys, that's how we sort out middleware, and we don't have to look back. Legit. Okay, so that's it done. I think at this point on, I will save this with git completed the middleware, the first draft. And we save this, all of it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, gotta put this to a pause. I will be back shortly. All right, we're back. We love to see it. We love to see it. Great. Okay, so sorry. Another family matter that had to be sorted. You know, I'm not getting. Okay. All right. Things are good. Things are good. Things are good. Let's go. All right. So we had sorted out the middleware aspect of this application, and now we can move on straight to the routing and the controllers and everything else that is to do with that. And the beauty about using Vite is that with Vite, everything just comes through so easily, especially when you're coming to, like, say, let's just open this for a second. You can see this uses the artisan serve piece, but we're not going to be using that for now. Let's just refresh this, go back to the dashboard. There's more I want to add. Instead of using this naming aspect of things, I want to have profile photos as the main thing. So I'm going to go into config, then Jetstream, and then scroll all the way down till profile photos, uncomment it, save it, and then come back to the dashboard and refresh. So you can see the profile photo aspect of things is running. I can go ahead and even select a new photo to replace what I have there. We have pictures. The pictures that we're going to set up. I don't know if I have a photo over here that I can use. Well, I'm going to go to this PC, Bankai, pictures. Should be there. I could use this one. This one seems a bit neat. I don't know how big it is. It's 2 MB, so that's massive. I could set the restrictions differently. So let's say, for example, if I come in here and select this and then save, it's gonna tell me that the photo must not be greater than 1024 kilobytes. So what I can do about that particular aspect of things is I can come into the actions, Fortify, and then this update user profile information. So there's this part over here called the photo, this part over here. The maximum that you can put is 1024. We can put that to 2048. We can use that. And once we set it like that, we can hit save again and it will work. But now there's a problem. We have this part over here. Let's just inspect what the problem is. And it says that we have localhost storage, profile photos, etc, etc. So what we have in this situation is a conundrum where storage is not going into the public folders. So you can see it's here, perfectly placed, but it's not being reached. And what we can do, the best thing that we can do, instead of hitting into localhost, because we're not using PHP artisan serve, we're using the actual stocks app.test name of the application. So what we can do, we go back to the .env and then replace it here, and then save this, and then we come back and refresh. Should be good now. Yeah, definitely. So you can see it's already come good. Yeah, I think running all this is it's pretty seamless. I don't know much about Tailwind, the Tailwind UI and the Tailwind CSS and all that, but it's a bit of a task or of an uphill battle when it comes to dealing with Tailwind. But let's just try and make the most of what we can salvage when it comes to this. let's try and sort out first of all the back of the UI, which is the controllers, and then we can go back to the view afterwards. So the home page, or rather the dashboard page, is running on, we can go to resources, views, app.blade.php. This is the main file that is running inertia and everything else. So now everything is going to be run through the JS pages, and then we have dashboard, we have welcome. Welcome is the front page of everything. We could as well delete this and then say, okay, we're directing you to the dashboard, which can be easily done when it comes to the routes. So I can come and open web.php inside routes, and I can delete this, or let's just comment it out, and then we can say that route redirect. So I can redirect this route to go to the dashboard. So like say dashboard, right? Great. So that's where this comes in. If I come in and open the application itself via the browser, let's just open the browser again. If I come and say stocks-app.test, like so, it will direct me to the dashboard. If I log out, here we are at the login page. If I click on home, it's going to take me to the login page still, because if I go home, it's supposed to direct me to the dashboard, and because the dashboard requires that I log in, it will redirect me again to the login, and then we'll have to log in from this point onwards, and then we come to the dashboard itself. So now I think that's the main part of the application, really. The main functionalities that I wanted to implement. Then another thing that I would want to have made sure happens is that this part over here for the dashboard is dynamic. So I could say that instead of using the redirect function, I could say it's a get route, and then I could redirect based on a certain characterization. So I'll come in here and say, maybe say function. And now in this function, we shall do something like say, okay, if the authenticated user is the administrator, it is an administrator, and this is where we now segregate the application. We segregate the application to an administrator and an administrator. Then we're going to return, and at this point we can return redirect, right? Return redirect, then we can choose the routes. So we can say route, then we can use, say something like admin dashboard, admin.dashboard or admin dashboard. So you can say dashboard. And then I can say else. Then I'll say about. And I'll say maybe 40. I could use 402, but I don't know what 402 used to stand for. Status codes, all 63 explained. We can go all the way down till 402. 402 is the payment required bit. Yeah, we can do that. I mean, just for fun. Just say 402. Then, yeah, I think that's it. I could return it as well. Or I could as well do without the else statement. Okay, so let's try this. Let me log out. Attempted to read properties admin on null. So I'm going to say if auth user and auth user is admin. What am I doing? An if inside there? Nope. Alright, so let's try that again. Let's log this guy out. Boom. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. So this could happen, like let's say for example, if we're redirecting to the route dashboard and then now we need to find out or figure out which dashboard this user is getting into. Let's try that out after this. Let's first segregate the application completely. So which means we're going to comment out this route, and then we're going to do a route. All right, we're going to do route prefix, and then we're going to say admin, right? And then we're going to point out a middleware or a middleware. It could be as many as possible. So there's auth sanctum. The user also has to be a verified user. And then before verified, I think there was a config jetstream auth session, which can be put here. So config, the key is jetstream auth session, and which also of course can be found inside. It should be config jetstream and then auth session here. All right, here. So authenticate session, and then over there we can say now we can group. So now in this group we're going to call out a function. This function is going to be a function of class, really. The function should stand for what? So we're going to admin, then we start with what? We're starting to edit the number of users that can get into the system. So there'll be like say a users model. There'll be what else? There'll be administrators model. Now there'll be a products one. So there'll be one for products categories. So just generally, we're going to point out like what we have for each and every single one of these models that we've declared, except for of course unit and role. So this is how we're going to go about it. So product categories, product subcategories. And then we're going to go with, there's a product description. And then there's the product itself. So the role, the unit, they're not going to be accounted for. There's the users, there's the administrators, there's a product title. Close this for now. There's a product title here, and then there's the product itself. No, the product title comes before the product description, so I think that's pretty much it. And then there's brands, of course. So there's product titles, product descriptions, and then the products, and then there's the brands. So I'm going to inject brands here. Right. And we are sorted, ladies and gents. We are sorted now. So inside all these, we're going to have resourceful routes that deal with all of these. And that's what makes inertia so that much quicker to ensure routes are in their places as compared to Livewire. Although Livewire is also just as powerful, I think inertia takes the dub using that. So like, let's say for example, if I want to create a resourceful route, I'll just come here and do pa make controller users controller. No, I'll say admin and then slash users controller. And then I'll do a -r. And then we'll see inside HTTP controllers, then we'll have admin, then the users controller. So we'll have the users controller on that edge right there. We'll have another controller over here for the administrators. So administrators controller. We'll have one for the product categories controller. Right, we will have product, should have just continued with it. Product subcategories. So product subcategories controller. Then we'll have the brands controller. We'll have the brands controller. We'll have the product titles controller. Then we move on to the product descriptions controller. And then we move to the product controller itself. Great. Okay, so how we settle them inside the routes here, we just use route, then we do colon, double colon, then we say resource. All right, then we say, when we say resource, then now this is where we call out the controller name. So we'll say resource, and then we'll say users. So this is admin users, and then the name of the controller, which will be users controller coming in from admin. So I'll just say admin stroke users controller, and then class, like so. And then I will reduce this by 1, like so. So every time we're looking at admin, we're looking at admin for sure. And that's it, really. Even the naming, we don't have to do the naming. And then we'll use the same for administrators. So we'll come and like drag this down. And I'll say users to admins, administrators. Yeah, pretty much like just the same. So I'll come and put this down, replicate, 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 replicate. It's that simple, really. It's just a matter of like changing it up. Just going to go and start from the very beginning. Yeah, so we start from here and we're going to do the brands. Keep case. We're going to use the product categories. So I'd wish that this one also would be like an underscore down there. Then there'll be product subcategories. Like so. The next one will be the product titles or preserving case, and then we have the product descriptions, preserving case, and then we have what else? Products themselves, right? Preserving case. Then we're not changing units, we're not changing the rules. That's okay. So in terms of product, let's start from the very top, like over here, to much case, please. So there, we're going to have it like that. Yeah. What else? So this is just me trying as much as I can to do mass edits. But that's pretty much it. Then we move from there to, testing it out really. Like say for example, if I come in here, login. Okay, 404 not found, but I mean, login. Yeah, so the 404 not found is on a basis of the routes cannot really depict where the dashboard is. So we need to have a dashboard clearly defined for us. So I'll have a route and then I'll do a get request, and then this one will be for a dashboard. And then from the dashboard area, we'll have a dashboards controller. So I'll come in here and do admin and dashboards controller. So dashboard controller. And that's it. That's pretty much it. So we'll come in here and then call in the admin / and then we have the dashboard controller class, and we close this. So this will be named, this one will have a name, and this one will be admin.dashboard. So now if we check the routes list, let's just do that. So PA routes list. So we already have a problem. Invalid route action. So this is invalid route action. So we need to actually call this route action like so. So there's the class, and then there's the action that's going to be called, which will be dashboard or index. I'll create that index control, this index function. Yeah, I think it's okay. I think it will already be created for us. But now I will delete the rest of this because we're not going to use any of those inside the dashboard. So now once we refresh, nothing still comes because we need to return an inertia view. Return inertia render. So the component over here in this situation will be inside pages. So anything inside pages we'll start with, and then we'll move to dashboard. So we'll come here straight to dashboard and save. So refresh this, and as a matter of fact we'll have to go back to stock up. So test, there's still that route for dashboard that is being catered for in this situation, which is not being shown. So I'll copy this part over here, route get, the one that we created beforehand and we said we're not going to use. Yeah, we're going to use it, but differently. We're going to use it for determining which dashboard we're going to go. So I'm going to say dashboard. So get dashboard function. So if the authenticated user is in and the user is an administrator, then return redirect route. This one will be admin.dashboard. Like so. Now we get to try. Oh, and then we can also uncomment out this bit over here. So there's that part where I said that if this function should redirect, it should redirect to dashboard. So I'm going to delete this entirety, and then I'll say route, and then this one will redirect, of course, and then it will redirect from here to the dashboard, just like that. And then if it will check for authenticated users, so you can see it's throwing an error that's not being defined extensively. That's because I want this one to appear underneath a certain middleware, and it needs that needs authentication. So I could as well like say prefix admin underneath the middleware, so that I can be able to segregate these routes all together and then still have room for the authentication process. Let's try it out. Let's try it out like this. So we'll put the middleware in like this, and then yeah, that should be it. Should be a problem here somewhere. There should be a problem here somewhere. Maybe it's too many redirects. Yeah, it's too many. Okay, it's not too many redirects. This one needs to be an admin. Yeah, I think that's it. So one thing also that we didn't account for is that this user that we created by default, now that I can remember, this user that we created by default, this in the users table, didn't have the role ID. The default is 3, which means they're being identified as a non-administrator. So I need to come in here and say role ID. Yeah, that's where the problem lies. So I need to come in here and say role ID is 1 for the super administrator, and that's it. So I need to also migrate it, sorry. PA migrate fresh seed. I don't think I have anything to seed, so I'm okay. And then it's going to say syntax error or access violation. Column description used in key specification without a key length. So I can't use it. Okay. I haven't declared the length, so that's why I can't use it in the description, in the what's this key specification. So I'll go back to the products table. No, not the products, but the products descriptions, and then remove the unique keys over here, and then of course now we're good to go. I'll just yep, that's it. So I'll just log in, and this is a super user, so you can see admin dashboard has been rendered. And now to look at it on that kind of level, we're going to go to resources, resources, JS, pages, and then now we start to work. So inside pages, I'm going to create one slide called admin, and then the other slide, the other side called what's this? Non-admin, something like that. Maybe say employee. Yeah, I'll just use employee. So there's admin, and then inside admin we're going to have the dashboard here. .view. So inside here, this dashboard.view, I'm going to just copy all these and paste them here. And then save. I think that's in order. I'm going to use up layout as the default layout. Then the controllers themselves, need to have them sorted. Page HTTP, controllers, dashboard controller, and then there's return inner shell render, and there's something else that was being rendered together with this, especially from the routes table. So let's go back to the routes and look at what was being passed through as props. And as you can see, there's this part over here, return inner shell render welcome, can log in and all those things. There's one also that was returned by to the dashboard. No, it was just the home page. So I'm going to delete the home page, which is not going to be mandatory, which is not going to be required of us anymore. And that's perfect. Now there's definitely an error that's been thrown here. Route dashboard is not in the routes list, so there's a problem right there. Let's try it out. So the routes list, so these are the routes that we've created in that short period of time. There's administrators create, administrators get, edit. There's all these different things, and then the name, the route name is what I want to look for. So if I did this in a very huge terminal, then I think it would have been much easier. So let's say I open this in Rebuild with File Explorer so that I can open the terminal, and then look at the routes list from here. So PA route list. Okay, so this is the point. These are the names. Yeah, these are the names. So there's admin dashboard. There's no route called dashboard anywhere here. I think that's why that's not rendering. I think it's in the dashboard tab itself. So app layout already has routes, definitely. So I'm going to go and check them out. There's a header, there's a banner. This banner definitely has some of the links. I'm going to look for the route where things had been changed. Route is route profile show. Let me look for them here. So route. So there's plenty. Team show, dashboard. So this one, navlink route dashboard. I can do admin.dashboard, and then also over here admin.dashboard. Then there's more here. So this one should be admin.dashboard, and then route current should be admin.dashboard. So essentially all these links that are there that I'm not like really familiar with, they should be put in like a separate component so that we can be able to again segregate the application between the employees side of things and the administrator side of things. But yeah, that's it. This should have done it. Yeah, should have done it very, very easily. So there's more somewhere else. Now this one should highlight now, I believe. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so we'll leave it at that for now. Now we'll go in the next stream to be able to code out each and every single piece of data or each and every single piece of CRUD. Tomorrow we're doing CRUD heavily, and then after that we do styling for whatever it is that we expect from this application. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that as it's already come very late. It's been Steve Nyanumba back again with Tech Chess. Thank you for tuning in. And if you guys are new here, please don't forget, all right? Don't forget, we're trying to aim for 4,000 hours of public watch time and 1,000 subscribers. And I can't do it without your help. I can't do it without you guys constantly pushing this channel, constantly promoting this channel. Thank you so much for those guys who have. Thank you so much for those guys who've joined the stream. I give a special shout out to Bernard. I'll give us as another special shout out to Aviwe, Code Fisher, and yeah, all of you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great night, and I will catch you guys in the next stream, which is tomorrow, 8 p.m. GMT plus 3, all the way till a time like this, maybe 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. I'll be happy to take you guys through. I'll be happy to be with you guys throughout the end of this project, which is going to end very, very quickly. And all in all, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care and God bless.